If you're from Brooklyn, make some noise, man. You know. All right, cool. Everybody's from Brooklyn today. Yeah. Thank you so much. Again, guys, like I said, man, if you used your last dollar to put gas in your piece of shit car to get here, that was me in a lot of events. So I just want to say thank you. You guys don't understand how much this means to me to have you guys go. What day today? What's today's date? Like, what's today?
Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday. Like, for you to get out your house in 2019 on a Wednesday to do anything, it's super important to me. I really appreciate it because like we've come to a part in life where people are afraid to make human contact. So if you decided to leave your house, it's a big deal. You know what I mean? And I just want to say thank you so much. My boy John in the building. I see my brother Mikey in the building. Dave, I see you. Everyone that's here today that I know personally, thank you so much because, if you really want to know who your real supporters are, start a business. No one's going to support you. So what I do is, when I see people support me and show up to events like this, it's very important because the further I get in my career, the more I'm meeting people that I never knew, and their intentions are not always 100%, and it's not their intentions are not always for the best of me. So to have people still here who I see since 2009 is super important. Like, it's crazy. So thank you so much. So we could get this whole thing. We started already, right?
Yeah, we already
All right,
started
cool.
downstairs, but I mean, I think like just to get into it, like the point of these events is really just inspiration. Like if there's one word to describe like what we're trying to do here, and like a lot of you guys, like I produce music as well and DJ, and I'm always so fascinated by the stories of artists that are like where I want to be or where you guys maybe want to be. And so I think that's a really good place to start because you have a pretty remarkable and I would also say like pretty unique story if you really take it all the way back. And I think, something we were talking about downstairs is like in every artist's life or in most artists' lives, there's a moment where you have to just like take the jump. You just have to make a commitment and take the leap. And, a lot of people have to work and make money and have like jobs while they're doing stuff on the side. And I think your story about like how you just jumped into the unknown is really inspiring. So, if you want to sort of get into that, maybe we could start there.
I appreciate you saying that. I mean, when I started to do the music thing, it was like, it was scary at first because it was just like, I have no family in the music business at all, Both of my parents have trash ass jobs. Is it cool if I curse on here? Yeah. All right, cool. Just edit it out, beep it. Both of my parents don't have good jobs. I'm from Brooklyn. I'm in an apartment building, and for those who don't know me, if it's your first time here hearing me, rather you work at JBL, whatever, I go by the name of Gashi. It's my real name. My full name is Labanat Larry Gashi. I added Larry because I was so kind of sick of people saying my name wrong. So when I became an American citizen, I added Larry because I was the only white kid on the basketball team, so they called me Larry Bird. So they called me that, and that's why I ran with that. And that's my full name. I was born in Libya, and my parents are from Kosovo. I'm Albanian, and I didn't want to change my name because I just felt like I wanted to make my parents proud. So I stuck with Gashi as my name. It's my last name. I was like, I want to make my parents proud. I don't want to change that because at the end of the day, we live for our last names, not our first. That's what we die for, and that's what we're forever remembered for. Our kids, for generations have that last name. So I kind of wanted to run with that. And, like you guys in here, regular kid, crazy. We all have our crazy stories. I was born in Libya, and I traveled. My parents traveled over 24 countries to come to America, and it was some of the most difficult times because I never really had a childhood. When I look back, it was always moving, learning a new language, and the only thing I ever could do is like sometimes watch TV, and that's why I loved Home Alone so much. I feel like Home Alone was like the first time I saw the life all the kids lived. Well, not all, majority of the kids lived in America, you know? And I was like watching it. I was in like this project building in Germany, and the Filipino kid next to me looks over at me and goes, "That kid looks like you." And I was like, "What the hell?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" And it was first time like me kind of seeing a different side of the world. And I saw Coca-Cola and all the shit, all the things that kid was doing, you know. And that week, like I had a rich family that I knew where I would rake the leaves up with my brother. That family paid me in gummy bears and Coca-Cola. So I drank soda for the first time in my life in Germany. And I kind of was like in love with everything that I was seeing in this house, you know what I mean? And the thing that was so crazy to me is like I'd grab a cup and go to the fridge and it would make ice for me. I was like, yo, this is so crazy, dog. Like, this shit just made ice. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like so crazy for me to see all this stuff and then go back to like a shitty life, you know? And my entire life as I traveled, I always would attract people in my life that somehow, some way would like show me a life that I could be living, you know? And long story short, because I don't have too much time here, but I'm gonna try to express as much as, or tell you guys as much as I can. When I moved to New York, we lived in a shelter. And I remember there were certain spots we would live at where we had to keep the lights on because as soon as you turned the lights off, the cockroaches would start crawling on your body. Like, it was moments like where I had to like fight with my brother who would wear a jacket first, you know what I mean? We went to school, the teacher told my mom, your kids need to shave their heads because they all got lice, you know? Like, it was really difficult. It was that point where it's kind of embarrassing to even talk about it now, you know what I mean? But I feel like I've made it and I'm so successful that I feel I'm over that. I could speak on that. And my life kind of changed when my dad worked at a synagogue and we stayed at the synagogue, and then the dude there helped my dad move into a building as long as he would do the maintenance. And we lived for free. I had my first apartment in a building where all 5 of us lived, you know? And that was the first time I had a house in New York, in Brooklyn. And I went to school, and I would do everything the same way all these other New Yorkers did. I fell in love with skateboarding. I love skateboarding. And I would try to do as much as I could as a kid. I was super active. But the thing that people don't know, and this is exclusive here, my father worked for Warner, but not the label, in the building. He would do all the trash and clean it all up. And they throw the CDs. They would listen to the CDs and throw them in the garbage. And my father would bring the CDs a month early into the house. So I would listen to the music earlier than everybody else. And I would play the CD and pick the singles that I liked off of everybody's album, whether it was Snoop Dogg, Pharrell, whoever it was, because the labels would have their CDs. Even if they were not a part of that label, they'd have the CDs. And I would listen to all the songs that were about to come out, and I'd pick the singles. And those were the exact singles that will always end up on the radio. And I feel like at such a young age, I fell in love with music. I fell in love with the industry, not knowing about the industry. I kind of fell in love with it. Even as a kid, I feel like Michael Jackson changed my life. I saw Michael's video, and I was like, that's who I want to be. And then I traveled every country I went to. I would meet a new artist that I fall in love with. When we went to France, I heard Chip Khalid for the first time. 20-something years later, Chip Khalid calls my phone and says, I want you on my album. My favorite artist tells me I'm his new favorite singer, which is like the craziest moment that recently happened. And I just feel like I kept going, I kept pushing, and everything in my life changed when I met my best friend, Dave and Mike, those two twins that are sitting right there. Everything changed in my life when I met Mike and Dave through skateboarding. We got together, and I recently got a Keith Haring tattoo on my chest. The reason why I got that was because Dave was like, hey, man, you could get paid for your art. And he showed me a different lifestyle and was bringing me around a different life. So I would skate from the hood to the suburbs in a nice area, and he would like show me crazy love and be like, man, this is that. Like these Nikes are called this, and this is that fly shit that all the kids are wearing around here. So I was kind of like, again, another family that God blessed me with to kind of show me a different path and a different lifestyle. So I was like Jewish for 5 years, and so I was like Jewish for 5 years, and it was like some of the best moments in my entire life because it changed my mentality. It changed everything for me. And one day, I did theater in high school. So I went to New Utrecht High School. I shouldn't bleep that out. We shouldn't even give them a shout out. I went to New Utrecht High School. I played football and I did theater. I love doing theater. My friend, who watched that new Gaga movie? There's a kid in there named Anthony Ramos. That's one of my closest friends. We did theater together. He just actually supposed to be here. He texted me. He was like, you should do movies. You should do movies. But I told him I want to do music, and now he wants to do music. But the thing that's so crazy is, I love doing theater. I was supposed to, I wanted to do music, and I wanted to do movies. And somebody came up to me and said to me, they called me names. I don't want to say what kind of names because it's inappropriate, and I don't want to say it. But they called me names for being in theater, and they said, you're that because you're in theater, you're weak. And I was like, so what would make me unweak? What would make me strong? And they said, if you played a real sport like football. And I said, okay. So I joined the football team just to prove people wrong. And I ended up getting a full scholarship. I played football, and I ended up being better than everybody on the football team that was talking shit. So I think as a kid or as a man, I have the mentality of if I dedicate myself to something, regardless of what it is, if it's mopping the floor or making a sandwich, I feel like I put my all into it. And when I went to college on a full scholarship to play football, I realized that I was not in love with football, and I was definitely not in love with school. I hated school. So I was like, why am I here? And I found myself cutting practice, cutting school to record music. So I started recording on Kid Cudi beats. If you like Cudi in this building, I love Cudi. He's influenced me like crazy. I started recording on Cudi beats. I would rip them off of YouTube and record on Cudi beats. And then my coach said, you're getting paid to come to school, right? And I said, I know. And he said, you're going to end up losing your scholarship. I said, man, I'm going to come to practice. Don't worry about it. That summer, I ended up with Mike and Dave. Dave said to me, he said, man, if you really want to do the music shit, I believe in it. It's insane. It's really good. Let's invest some bar mitzvah money and make this mixtape. So we made a mixtape. And that summer, I ended up meeting Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle, when I first made a song with Nipsey Hussle, it was the first time in my career that I felt I was on. And when I say on, as an artist, you always have these on moments. You know what I mean? You meet Peter Schwartz, you think you on. You just left the room, you're like, I'm on. You meet Ed, he's Rihanna's lawyer. You're on. I'm working Rihanna's lawyer, I'm on. So you always have these on moments. And I had that on moment when I met Nipsey because he was popping to me and he co-signed me and I felt like this was it. So I dropped out of school. I met French Montana. I was looking at French Montana's mixtapes. I was putting the mac and cheese covers in the CDs, just hanging out in the studio. And I was working on this tape that I was gonna drop, and I said French is on it, Nipsey's on it. This is gonna get me the biggest deal, and I'm gonna be lit. So I do the mixtape, I put it out, and I was a flop. I failed. It was the biggest fail. I failed. I was just like, damn. I thought this was gonna get me the deal, and it didn't get me the deal, guys. I recorded this in 2000. I dropped it in like 2010 or 11. It flopped. My parents are super strict. They're like super Albanian, and they're like, you need to get out the house. You either get a job or you can't live here. You got to bring money. And I ended up dipping. My relationship with Mike and Dave, who invested on that CD, they went back to school and started doing their own thing, and I would keep in touch with them. But I had to figure my life out. I had to figure out something for me. So I hit the streets of New York City selling that CD that I made. And I would sell it. I'd sleep in Wendy's. I met my friend Scott Andrews. I'd go to New Jersey. And I'd be in New York City streets trying to get this deal with this CD. And I thought to myself, it's going to happen. You know what I mean? And then I found out while sleeping in the streets in Soho, one night I'm just chilling there, and I see Kanye walking. And I start following Kanye to his apartment. And I waited outside of Kanye's house for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. If you go on Google and you Google Gashi Kanye, you can see a picture of Kanye West coming up to me saying, I see you every single day. Give me a CD. And Kanye West takes a CD from me. And you see that picture of him giving me £1 after he took my CD. And it was another on moment. I thought Kanye was gonna grab my CD, listen to it, and I was gonna be the fucking man. I was gonna be on. Kanye grabbed the CD, no call, no nothing. I'm still bummed. And my mother called me, and she was like, yo, I lost my job, I need help, and you need to find a way to go back to school. So she was gonna make me sign to Kingsborough. If you guys know, it's a community college, super trash. And I was like, yo, I'm not trying to go there, but everybody said the girls were pretty. So I was like, all right, cool. So I'll go to community college for a little bit just to make my parents happy. Long story short, man, I took my last check so I got a job at Billabong where my mom needed help. And I took that last check. I was working at Billabong, and like I said, the mentality of Gashi is do everything the best you can do it. I had a job there for like a month. They were trying to make me manager. You know what I'm saying? That's how much board shorts I was selling for these idiots. And I realized when I was making the money I was making for these people, how much money I was making for them. I was like, damn, bro, like, they got me busting my ass selling these shorts for this company, and they don't even pay me that much. So I wake up every day working for another man's dream of selling board shorts, which is the weakest shit ever. So while this man is probably in Australia right now eating fucking cheesecake or whatever he's doing, I'm over here busting my ass while this man is chilling with kangaroos. So I realized I need to get the fuck out of here. And I started slacking. And the manager, Josh, comes up to me and he goes, hey, man, you've been slacking. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, the board shorts are not selling. And I'm tired of selling them, fam. Like, I'm really tired of selling these motherfuckers. On top of that, y'all not even giving me free shorts. You know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck you want me to do? Keep selling these shorts for you? And he's like, you fired. And I said, thank you. So he fired me, and I took the last check, and the Jordan 3s were coming out. And I love the Jordan 3s. Like, that's how you know I'm from New York. I'd rather look like money than have money. The Jordan 3s were coming out, and I was going to buy the Jordan 3s, but I said, nah, fuck that. I took the last check, and I recorded this song called Who Made Me. That song, Who Made Me, we put it out. I linked up with Mike and Dave. We put it out again. Mike was like, you know what? I'm going to email every blog until they post it. Half of every company blocked me on Twitter because I would constantly tweet them to post my shit. And before you know it, man, I was driving with my mother. She had a night shift Sunday, and I was supposed to go register for school. I ain't tell nobody I was going to go to Kingsborough. And I was so ashamed of it. I ain't tell nobody. And driving with my mom that Sunday night, man, Peter Rosenberg from Hot 97 played my record, man. Played Who Made Me. And I pulled over, and I started bawling. I started crying. And I looked at my mother, and I said, Mom, if you playing a fucking game on me right now, this is not the time. So I started changing the stations to see if she was fucking with me. And it was on the fucking radio. Peter Rosenberg played it, and Who Made Me was the last song I recorded before I was going to drop out. And it made the radio. And the next morning, she woke me up like, are you ready to go to Kingsborough? I was like, nah, fuck that. That was a sign. I'm not going back to school. You are crazy. So I dropped out again. I didn't go back. So I didn't go back to school, and I continued to do music. And I was going through a breakdown where I did some drugs that I'm not happy of, but I had anxiety, and I was going through a mental breakdown where, see, in families, a lot of times the parents compare kids to other sisters and brothers' kids. And we say, what is she doing? Because my daughter just got into Harvard. Even if that bitch didn't go to Harvard. They just bragging because that's what family does. They compare the kid to the other kid. And, you know, me being such a successful student and having a full scholarship and then dropping out and playing Tony Hawk jerking off in my room was not what they expected of me. You know what I mean? I was a failure. I was eating popcorn with hot sauce in my room. I did not want to see nobody. I was trapped in, miserable. And anyone that saw me, I would lie and say, oh, hey, I'm visiting from college, because I didn't want them to know I dropped out. So I would make music. Again, I started making music, and my sister would give me money. That's why my sister is forever in my heart. I love her to death. That's my best friend. She would give me money and be like, here's $100. Go record a song. Go record a song. It was $100 for 1 hour in Williamsburg. There was this dude, I think he was like from Thailand or something, I don't know. His name was Kim, and he said $100 an hour. And he would always call, every time I call him, like, hey, Kim, how you doing? Are you free to? He'd be like, send a deposit. And it'd be the first thing he'd say. And I'd be like, all right, cool. So we would send a deposit in, and my sister would help me. And every now and then, Mike Dave would help me. And I would go there and I would record music. Before you know it, guys, I got my call. I made a song called Room 4, shot the video for it. And I want to give a big shout out to a friend that we kind of stopped talking. And his name is Johnny Quest. And I want to give a big shout out to Johnny Quest. You probably watching this. I just want to say thank you, man. You know, I had a good friend named Johnny Quest. He was Jamaican from Canarsie, and he's helped me with my videos so much. We just kind of fell apart at like a weird part of my career, and we shoot these videos together. And you know, now I'm in LA and I'm shooting videos for $200,000, $300,000. And I swear to God, Johnny, if you watching this, these people don't know as much as you do, man. I hope you continue doing what you do. I know we stopped talking, but like, I sit there, every time I edit a video, I think about what we did. We shot a video called Room 4, and I got a call from this guy named Jason Flom, who ended up giving me my first record deal to Lava Records. Now, again, another I'm on moment. I got my deal. This guy signed Katy Perry. He signed Lord. This man is the motherfucking man. You know, I walked into this shit, I see plaques. I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. So I signed my fucking deal, guys. I finally signed my record deal. I'm excited. I told my mom, please don't switch up on me. I'm about to make all this money. The boy signed for $5,000. In my product bag right now, I got 50 G's. I signed for $5,000 and I was excited as if my life changed. It was the worst decision I've ever made. Shout out to Jason Flom. Thank you for the opportunity. I'm not mad at you. I love you because everyone that's ever did me right or did me wrong in my life, I love them because I learned lessons. Every time I took an L, I learned my lesson. It was never bad blood. I was always so emotional. I was always so angry because I'm pointing fingers at everyone for me not being where I want to be. But the reality of it, it's my fault. I signed that deal. I said I was lit. I went to Aspen, and everybody looked at me like a unicorn because I didn't know how to snowboard. But he brought me to Aspen, and I thought I was on. I signed that deal. I thought I was going to be dating Katy Perry. And none of that stuff happened, you know? Long story short, if you're an artist in this building right now, the worst thing to do when you sign a deal is take a picture and post it on Instagram. It's the worst thing. The advice from me to you is don't ever post that you signed a deal. Because I ended up posting I signed a deal, but my mom was still waking me up in the morning saying, go get milk. So I posted I signed my deal, but I was still in the hood, man. I was still in the hood and nothing was moving for me. So I'd go to the grocery stores. They're like, yo, you just posted you got a deal. Fuck are you doing here? I'm like, I signed for like 5 G's, fam. That shit just went on like 2 jeans and a jacket. And the guy that signed me, yeah, he never called me. I haven't spoken to him yet. So I signed a deal, and the person I signed to never speak to me. I barely speak to him. I see him once like every 3 months. And he pays for dinner, and he looks like he's like stressing to pay for it. And I'm over here like, damn, I messed up. So now, guys, remember, when someone's offering you a deal, the best thing to do is have your lawyer. I did not have a great lawyer at the time. I don't want to say his name. But at the time, I had a lawyer who claimed to care about me, but his intentions were not the best intentions for me. You know what I'm saying? At the time, I needed an Ed Shapiro. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I needed an Ed at the time, and I didn't have a lawyer, and I just signed without reading, and it was the worst decision I've ever made. I ended up signing for like 8 albums for 5 G's. And now I'm broke. People seen I posted it. Everyone in the hood is like, yo, you made it. But I'm still broke, and I'm putting quarters together to get some Chipotle. And it's all messed up. I'm going down. And I was really depressed, guys. I was really depressed. And if you're an artist or a producer in here, you know, I started my own record label, and I would never pull that on anyone. You know what I mean? No matter how much money I have, even if I didn't have no money, anyone I sign, I'm going to push them as much as I push myself. You know what I mean? And if you ever have a deal soon, which you will, not going to say if you ever, you will. If you work hard, you'll get there. If you ever have a deal, make sure you have a great lawyer, man. That's another advice I have, man. Having a great lawyer is super important because that makes sure you're safe. And that's something I didn't care about at the time. And I ended up signing a lot of shitty deals that thank God I'm out of today. So I signed that deal. And if you guys wondering how I got out that deal, my girlfriend at the time, my ex-girlfriend, she invited me to a club. I hate clubs. It's crazy that I signed a residency in Vegas because I hate clubs. It's so stupid. Like, people just go there and they're sweating and they all got their phones up. And then as soon as the phone's down, they're not excited anymore. They're only going, yeah. When the phone's up and when the phone's down, it's back to just drinking and being miserable. It's trash. I don't like it. And it's always sweaty and hot. It feels like you walked in somebody's asshole. I hate clubs. It's trash. So I was like, fuck it. Something told me to go to the club that day. So I went to the club and I ran into a kid. I don't want to say his name. He was an Albanian artist. He was like, yo, he said, I'm going to be on performing on Dancing with the Stars. Now, I don't know too much about that shit, but I know my mom watched that shit. So I was like, you know what? it should be lit. You know? So this should be a big deal. So I go home, and the kid wasn't fucking lying. He was on Dancing with the Stars singing. I thought I was dreaming. I'm literally sitting eating a box of Apple Jacks. And I'm just sitting there like, holy shit, this kid's on Dancing with the Stars. This is a big fucking deal. I'm like, yo, Mom, you watch Dancing with the Stars? She goes, yeah, why? I'm like, you know this kid? She's like, no. I was like, he's Dancing with the Stars. She goes, yep, he's successful, unlike you. And I'm like, okay. I got to call this kid. So I looked at my phone, and I had his number. He stored it in my phone. So I called the kid. I'm like, yo, you really on Dancing with the Stars, man? Congrats. And he's like, I told you. I was like, man, I ain't believe you, man. I was having a bad night. And before you know it, man, I was like, do you want a record deal? And he said, yeah. I said, I got the guy. He gonna sign you. So I hit up this guy who I was signed to and told him, sign this kid and let me out of my deal. So I got that kid the deal, and I reversed it and got out mine. See, everyone in this room, when you're angry, you make the worst decisions. See, I wanted to go into that label, tear the plaques down, say, fuck you, go crazy, fuck everybody. You guys ruined my life. It's the first thing I wanted to do. It's the worst decision I could have made. If I did that, I would have been arrested. I would have been a bum. I would have been everything my parents thought I was. You know? But I didn't. I started to think like Jay-Z. I started to think like these people that I look up to. And I said, you know what? I got out of my deal. I'm scared to fly, by the way. If you're afraid to fly, guess what? We friends. I hate flying. So I popped Xan, and I don't do drugs. I popped the Xan. This is facts. I'm sorry. I don't know if JBL, I love you, but this is real, okay? We're going to keep it 100. I popped the Xan because it's for my anxiety, not because I want to get high. I jumped on a plane. I went to L.A. The first week I got to L.A., I just got out of my damn lit. I did a song with Travis Scott, Quavo, and DJ Snake. First week, I did a song called For Life for DJ Snake. First week, I did my entire first Stairs album. If you guys have that album, please continue to get that, because my label does not make money off of that. I own that to myself. So if every time you buy that shit, listen to it, guess what? I'm buying a new pair of shoes. As you can see, yeah, I love shopping. I'm a weirdo. But I made that whole shit the first week, and I was like in LA sleeping from bed to bed to bed to bed to bed to bed. I was sleeping on everybody's couch, and I had these songs. And I'm like, yo, this is about to be lit. I'm about to have a song come out with Travis Scott, Quavo, and DJ Snake, the biggest DJ in the world. Ed loves him. And this is about to be lit. So the album comes out. I still don't have a deal. I'm still trapped. Nothing's working out for me. I put this album out. People showing me love. But guess what, guys? When Stairs came out, don't let Instagram fool you. I was still in the hood. I was still putting the hoodie on. I was still doing the garbage. I was a garbage man. For a lot of people that ask why I wear a ski mask, my mother told me wear a ski mask because if you're tired of these little piece of shit kids taking pictures and posting you on Instagram and saying he ain't shit, he got 1 million views, but he still does the garbage, my mom gave me a ski mask. I wore a ski mask to hide from it. So that's why I wear a ski mask at all my shows, to remind myself where I came from, a garbage man. And just the other day, not to get too off topic, I started working with Travis Barker from Blink-182, and he told me he was a garbage man too. And if you saw that motherfucker house, oh shit, I can't wait for mine. You know? So, yeah, I was a garbage man. And I was still doing the garbage. Imagine, guys, picture this shit. Travis Scott, Quavo, DJ Snake, 2 songs on an album. You not signed. You still in the hood. You still doing the garbage. People still see you. Say, yo, can I get a turkey sandwich? Make sure you ask tomato shit at the deli. People are like, what the fuck? He's ordering sandwiches at the deli. He has a song with Travis Scott. Bro, Don't let Instagram fool you. You guys got to understand, everything on Instagram is a highlight. It's not a blooper. So every time I posted a nice outfit, 99% of the time, that was not mine. I borrowed it. Every time you see me do some flex shit, you saw my videos and I'm coming out Maybachs, there's probably like an old man. I was like, can I jump in that shit real quick? And we shot it. I was really faking the funk. My entire fucking career to get here, I was imagining things happening for me, speaking things into existence. Jay-Z's gonna sign me. Did you guys ever hear my Jay-Z story? Yes. How I signed a Jay-Z? Or how Jay-Z threw my CD out in the garbage. Let's talk about how Jay-Z threw my CD out in the garbage. I told Joe, which was Dave's brother, he goes, yo, why don't you go, Jay-Z got a signing book, you should go get me my book. So I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. I get there, and I'm waiting online. I see this huge line, and I start asking $1 from everybody online and made enough money to buy Jay's book, Decoded. And I said, look, if I buy this book and I meet Jay, I'm going to give him the CD, and he's going to sign me. That's how it's going to happen. I'm going to sign a Jay-Z like that. And nobody's got to tell me different. Yo, what's up? Can I get $1? What's up? Can I get $1? Boom, boom, get dollars. Before you know it, I made enough money to buy 4 books. I'm waiting online, finally get there. I see Jay, he's sitting there. This is a big fucking moment now. Jay-Z's sitting right there. He's looking at me. I'm looking at Jay. I'm like, oh my God, this is a big fucking moment. Now, he's sitting there, and I see him. He's saying what up to everybody. You know, Jay-Z's so smooth, and, you know, and he's just sitting there like, what's up, what's up? And I'm like, oh, my God, this is really about to happen for me. Sorry, I'm getting up because I got swamp ass. Jay-Z is right there, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, cool. I'm going to grab my CD, and I'm going to put it in this book. He's going to open the book. He's going to sign it, see it, and say, yo, this is so cool. I'm signing you. Think about how crazy I was. Like, to think that he's going to look at a CD and be like, this is cool. I'm signing you. He goes, yo, what's up? I'm like, yo, what's up, man? I'm from Brooklyn. I'm a rapper. This is my CD. And he goes, wow, that's so cool. He grabs the CD and throws it in the trash. And he goes, have a good day, man. What's your name? Signs the shit and gives it to me. I literally was crying on the train back home, but happy at the same time because he touched my book. And I was like, this is sick. And I kept going, guys. I kept putting music out. And before you know it, I got in trouble. I got in trouble with the law. I don't want to get too detailed in it, but, you know, something happened, and I protected my family and got involved. And before you know it, I had a warrant for my arrest. This is how my entire life changed, okay? So let me just tell you guys right now, if you're having a bad day right now, if something bad happens to you, don't be the type of person with when one tire pops, don't keep driving so you could pop all 3. Pull over for a second, fix that motherfucker, you know what I mean? Like, I always used to keep driving and fuck everything up. I fucked everything up, man. And I was upset. I was on Snake's album, and I was still in the hood. My sister called me. She had gotten into it over a parking spot, New York City. You know what I mean? You have a better chance of winning the lottery twice than finding a parking spot. I go outside to protect her, and I get in trouble. I jump on a plane, and I go to Iceland. I do a show in Iceland, make a bag, go to L.A. Now, there's a warrant for my arrest in New York, and I can't come back to New York. So that's why whoever knows my song 24 Hours in here, if you know my song 24 Hours, that's what that story is about. I had to leave New York in 24 hours. And I go to L.A. Now I'm doing trash. I'm living in somebody's closet. Bro, I'm 6'5". I had to curl up to sleep. I was in Santa Monica, sleeping in people's rooms and asking people to sleep at their crib. I've been through a lot of stuff in my life. This was the worst I've ever been through in my life. Family, not around. Friends, not around. Mike and Dave, not around. Nobody that was helping me, not around. Nobody was around. I was going through the worst in LA. my friend Rory, at the time, my friend Rory, Brad, and John, they were managing Tyler, the Creator, and they said, you know what? We're going to manage you. We manage YG, and you're going to be the next guy. And we also got a girl named Ella May. Who knows Ella May in here? Make some noise for Ella May, because you know what? Clap it up. Because that girl, I give props to Ella May, because that girl flew from London. I was there when Mustard found her, and her and I had the same manager, and we'd be in the crib. We'd be in the crib stressing. Like, is this gonna ever happen? And we was in the room, her brother was acting like he was the manager. Shit was crazy. He would be walking around in his tighty whities, stressed. Everybody was stressed. Like, is this gonna happen, you know? But you meet a lot of artists that you come up with, and that was one of the artists. I met a lot of artists, you know. I met A$AP Rocky, I met Big Sean, a lot of artists before they popped off. I met them, and I've seen their journey. It's such a beautiful thing to see, because it's encouraging, it's motivating. But back to LA, I was stuck in LA. I saw different artists that were coming up. Khalid, if you guys know Khalid, he picked me up in his BMW and played me his entire album. And I said to him, man, my favorite one was Young, Dumb, Broke, whatever it was. That was my favorite one. And Location. And guess what? I went through the same shit with my dad getting the CDs. I did the same exact shit with Khalid's album, where I heard it and I knew what songs I liked. And those ended up being the songs that went. So I'm meeting all these artists in LA now. I'm broke as hell. I'm driving my friend's Prius that breaks down every like 2 blocks. And I'm just like, damn, I'm really going through it. And guys, I swear, I kid you not, and I'm scared to even say this because I'm so embarrassed by it. But I was so low in my life that I was gonna end my shit. What I mean by end it, I was done with the world. I think it was time for me to go. I was out. I said to myself, this decision I was making, I don't want to be here no more. I felt trapped in the world. I wanted to get out. I didn't want to be here. And again, another on moment, there was a guy named Josh invited me to a party for this big writer named Detail, who wrote Beyonce records, Drake records, did a bunch of stuff. Really not proud of that man of the other things he's done, but the music was good, and it was his birthday party, and I decided to go there. I don't know what made me go, but something was telling me to go. And that's why I feel I have angels on the other side, because I don't have no connections in this business. I don't have nobody really helping me, but it's always things that pop up. Rather is the twins, rather is this, somebody always pops up to like tell me, hey man, come with me. Like that girl, come. Something always pops up. And sometimes in life, a lot of us don't look at the signs. You understand what I'm saying? Like, a lot of us tend to ignore people that are trying to help us. You know, it's like that, it's like that man who was in church and it was flooding. And somebody said, yo man, get in my car, I'm gonna help you. And he goes, no, I'm good, God got me. And then the boat comes. And he's like, yo man, get on the boat. He's like, no, I'm good, man, God got me. And then the helicopter comes. He's like, yo, you about to die. Here's the ladder. He's like, nah, I'm good. God got me. And he dies. He goes to heaven. God, what happened? He's like, man, I sent your dumbass a car, a boat, and a helicopter. You ain't take none. You got to look at people as help. You always need to look at people as angels. That's how I see things. You know, people trying to help you, those are blessings, you know. And I went to that party. Somehow, some way, these 2 kids from London, oh my God, Khalid just popped up. What the hell?
He's saying what up.
He's like laughing at the story. Oh my God. Shit. Oh my God, that's so weird. I look up there like, oh, what the fuck? Oh, shit. But yeah, I went to this party and I went to this party and I met these 2 kids from London and they said to me, hey, we should do a session. And I said, man, let's do it. And they invited me, and I was not even gonna go, I promise you. They text me, are you still coming in an hour? While driving right next to their house. I wasn't even gonna go. I'm like, where do you live? Send the address. I click it, it was 5 minutes away from where I was. So the only reason why I went to their house was because I had to use the bathroom. I bust a left and I go up. I get the chills every time. I live in Studio City. Don't visit me. But I live in Studio City now in LA. And every time I drive that Ventura shit, I get the chills because I'm like, oh my God, I cannot believe this was where it all happened. That party was on Ventura. I made a left. I went up there. I went to these dudes' house and I used the bathroom. I was in there using their Wi-Fi because I was broke and I ain't pay my bill. So I would use people's Wi-Fi, Starbucks Wi-Fi. I was using their Wi-Fi for like an hour on the toilet. My legs got numb. They knock on the door and they're like, yo. They're like, yo, mate, did you come to use the bathroom and record? And I totally forgot that I had a session. So I'm like, yo, my fault, I'm gonna be out there. So I was in there for like taking this shit for like an hour and a half. So I get out the bathroom and I go straight into the booth and they play the beat. And the first song I recorded, front to back, freestyle, was Disrespectful. My song, Disrespectful, was the song that changed everything forever. That shit changed everything. When I say it, guys, think about how long the story was. You guys been here for a while. Everybody's heard me talk for like an hour now. Think about how many songs I put out to get to Disrespectful. 50? That's a lot of fucking songs. You know what I mean? So I'm like bugging the fuck out because like it's reminding me like where I come from. I'm sorry, my eyes are fucked up. So the thing that's crazy is it took me like so many songs to get one good song. I recorded a song. I said, all right, you guys like it? Like, mate, this shit bangs. And I said, all right, cool. Email it to me, and I'll listen to it. They're like, yo, we'll just airdrop it. They airdrop it. I get in the Prius, and I start driving. I'm bumping it late night. I see the palm trees, and the song is knocking. I pull over to a restaurant called Crave, which I go a lot. If you come to LA, you can catch me at Crave like 4 o'clock in the morning, eating carrot cake. I'm just at Crave and I'm bumping the song, and something about it was really knocking. My mother calls me the next day and says, yo, the case got dropped. I book a flight. I tell this girl that I was kind of seeing, I was like, yo, book the flight. She booked the flight, and I get on the flight. She thought I was coming to Jersey to see her. Psych, curve. I go straight to New York, see my mother, and she goes, what? Hello? Yeah. She goes, what have you been up to? And I said, I've been recording music and staying, you know what I mean, trying to figure it out. So she says, play me the song that you recorded. And I played Disrespectful for my mother while eating an ice cream cone. And I started dancing. Whoever knows me from that video, I started dancing and playing that record. And something told me, she goes, why don't you just post it on Instagram? I was like, nah, Mom, this is so embarrassing. And she goes, just post it. I posted it on Instagram, and the song went viral. Think about the shit that I've been through, guys, for one song to go viral. Disrespectful went viral. I had so many likes. I've never seen those kind of likes. I've never seen 3,000 comments before in my life. These comments are coming. I'm reading these names like, you know what I'm saying? You got Zach from like fucking Wisconsin. Dude, this shit's sick. And you got motherfucking, you know what I'm saying? You got Daniel from like down the block. Like, yo, I see you every day getting your sandwich. I don't want to bother you, but you lit. Like, bro, you got like all these names. Everybody's is like, I'm freaking out now. Like, yo, I'm famous. Like, oh my God, I'm becoming famous and I'm stuck in this apartment. Shit. And the song goes viral. Guess what happens now? Everyone's calling. Every label's calling. I'm a free agent. This feels amazing. You're like, damn. You guys watch Coming to America? You know when he gives those bums the money and they go, Ma, we back in business. That's exactly, I looked at my mother. I said, Ma, we back. And flew back to LA. I took all the meetings with the labels. Now I'm going in there like I got the biggest dick in the world. So I'm going in there like, you know, I have the leverage now. You know, I used to be so afraid of walking into these labels because I was like, is my shirt right? I used to scream at my mom and dad and my sister like, am I looking good? Am I looking good? And because I was so afraid of one thing being off where they won't give me my record deal. And now walking into these rooms and I'm like, do I like you, bitch? Because I don't care if you like me. Because I'm lit. You know what I'm saying? The worst thing you can do, if I walk in with a peacoat, I'm not going to say what label, but this is how one idiot lost me. I walked in there with my peacoat, and you know how peacoat, sometimes you have like two things, like a penguin shit, and they have the strings that ties the shit together. This idiot came and cut the shit for me at the meeting, and I just walked out the meeting. You lost me. You don't touch my fucking coat. You know what I'm saying? Back in the day, I would have been like, thank you for touching my coat. You know? Now I'm just like, yo, fuck you. Don't ever touch me, bitch. Like, we lit. So I ended up being super motherfucking cocky. I got a song that's working. Boom. Guess who's calling? Jay-Z, Rock Nation. Go into the room. They want to sign me for management. Holy shit. I ended up signing with Rock Nation. I ended up signing with Jay-Z as my management. So clap it up for Rock Nation and my manager, Nima, back there. Yeah. So go ahead. You want to play some tunes soon? Yeah.
Half an hour left.
Okay, cool. So I ended up signing with Rock Nation, guys. It was a big moment for me because, like I said, guys, I always wanted to be a part of that because I love Jay-Z. I'm from Brooklyn. And then my manager, Nima, took me to Spotify. I want to give a big shout out to Tuma. I always give him a shout out. Spotify, Spotify's cool. But shout out to Tuma, who does not work at Spotify anymore, works at YouTube. So shout out to YouTube. You guys are lucky to have him. He's incredible. He put my song Disrespectful on Rap Caviar, and I ended up taking that $200,000 and moving my parents into their first home. With that money, I could have easily bought a nice watch, easily been iced out, talk my shit, but that's not what the important thing is. Taking care of the people around you, your family. Make sure you take care of people around you, because you ain't make it out the hood if your family's still in the hood, if your parents are still in the hood. That's not making it out. So I took care of my family, and before you know it, that Spotify money was good, but not good enough. I took a bunch of meetings, and I went to RCA Records. Shout out to George. I went to RCA Records, and I turned up on their ass. The video went viral, and I ended up signing with RCA Records, which is the biggest motherfucking record label today. RCA Records allows you, if you're an artist or producer trying to get signed, go to RCA Records. Why? Because they allow you to do whatever the fuck you want. I dress how I want to dress. I speak how I want to speak. They haven't got me no counselor to tell me what to do. They love me for me. They sign me for me. I drop any song I want for me. So this is why RCA Records is incredible, and I love them. So I ended up signing with RCA Records. Clap it up for RCA Records for signing me. And I partnered up with them, and I have my own label with RCA Records called 423. And this is the reason why some producers are here. I see DJ Nick over here. Make some noise for him. For being here. If you're a producer, artist, anything, we're going to chop it up, because I'm not leaving until I have a conversation with everybody in here. I really appreciate you guys being here for real. I signed with RCA Records. I put out amazing records that went platinum. Creep on Me went platinum, and I've been pushing ever since. I'm nowhere near where I want to be, guys, but I'm not where I used to be, and that's the blessing. You know what I mean? And there's so many people that every day tell me my story inspired them. And guess what? If you're in this room and you have your own story, guess what? Your story is going to end up motivating somebody else. So that's why you can't really quit, and you can't really be so down on yourself and say forget everything, because you know what? The same building you live in, there's going to be a kid come out that building and sign a bigger deal than you one day. So you got to inspire him to continue to push. And even if you're independent and you don't want to sign to anybody, guess what? I did it with Disrespectful. I got $200,000 without no label. But a label is help. And if you think you don't need help, you're crazy. You know what I mean? My father, one day I beat my brother up. My father told both of us, go outside, get a stick. He brought it back, snapped it in his knee. He put it together, and he tried to do it again, and it wouldn't break. When you stick together, there's no way of falling apart. You need help. You need the lawyer. You need the agent. You need people that have done this shit before so they can help you and make sure they point you to the right direction. That's the only way to do it. If you walk into a room and you act like you know it all, that shit's flop. That shit's out. That's not it. I used to think I knew it all, just to walk into a big-ass building and realize I did not know shit. I signed to Rock Nation. I did not know shit. I signed to RCA Records. I did not know shit. I continuously keep learning about the business, and I continue to learn about myself as an artist. So with that being said, I also told them that I wanted to play new music, guys. So I'm going to play you guys my first album coming out called Gashi. I'm going to play you guys my first single, my last single before the album comes out with DJ Snake called Safety. And then after that, I'm going to play you guys my 80s album. I'm playing you guys an 80s album. And you know what? This era is amazing, but I fucking hate it, okay? I hate this music that we putting out. I hate the bullshit SoundCloud shit. I do not co-sign it. I'm not with it. You know what I mean? I'm not. And you know what, guys? I don't want to sound negative. It's not for me. Maybe it's for you, but it's not for me. And so I built a time machine to escape this era. So I built a time machine, I went in it, and I fucking went to the 80s. And I made an album, and I brought it back for you guys, okay? So that's what the shit is. That's it.
Go.
That's it.
You ready?
Yeah, all right, let's connect.
All right, so just
yeah.
give your phone over.
Make some fucking noise, man. I'm out. All right, hold on. Yeah, thank you guys so much. That girl over there definitely don't want me to come back to JBL. She's like, well, I turn this shit up one more motherfucking time, bitch. Turn it up one more motherfucking time. Sorry about that. Thank you. I like your tattoos, by the way. I got like 10 yesterday. But yeah, questions?
Yeah, so we got pizza now.
Okay.
And we're just going to do a meet and greet. So, yeah we can just disperse.
Hold on. Any producers in here that came to see me today? Okay. Every producer in here that came to see me, make sure we link up. Any artists came to see me? Artists right there. Make sure we link up and I'll get your information. And anybody that have any question that can't do it right now, I miss fucking New York pizza. So let's talk about it, okay? I love you guys so much. Thank you again for coming. It means the world to me. And JBL, you guys have the best speakers in the motherfucking world because you saved me. I used to walk around with a JBL speaker in my bag when I was homeless. I used to charge it up in Apple, run out, see my favorite artists, and play the music and chase after them. So JBL saved me so much. I love you guys. Again, thank you so much for being here. Let's go!